We got hail today and rain. It's not a pretty day. So actually the dogs and we've been cooped up inside all day. It's just one of those things you have to deal with when you have bad weather. And the cool thing, of course, is I'm able to move around if this bad weather stays constant. You know, that's really one of the reasons why I'm in Arizona as opposed to the Northwest, which is like my favorite place to camp, because I'm trying to avoid weather, cold, snow, and shade. Out here, generally, you get a lot of sun. So being cooped up in there all day, you know, for me, it does get a little irritating. I just kind of like watch YouTube, edit some videos for you guys, watch movies. I've been watching the old Battlestar Galactica series. It's one of my favorite series. But it gets kind of old. It's, you know, it's not a big place to live. This is called a 20-foot trailer. So if you measure it from the back to the very tippy front, then it's 20 feet. But you can see how it's angled there. So it's more like 18 by 8 feet. So it's not a lot of living space, you know, if you got to spend all day in there. And then with the dogs, man, the dogs are really good, but they do get antsy, you know, they want to go out. And then I let Echo outside, and he wants to come back inside pretty quick because he's like, oh, it's too cold. It's cold and wet. But the good thing is that I have gear that keeps me, you know, pretty warm and dry if I need to come out here. Having a good rain jacket really helps. These are just basic gloves. But what I got to do right now is I got to fill up my water jugs, because I do have water in the blue jugs here, in these 6-gallon jugs. But I like to transfer it in here because then I have, you know, 1-gallon jugs of drinking water. So I'm going to do that right now. Yeah, that's good. And it might seem like I have a lot of stuff in here, but it's you know, it's pretty well refined. Like what I have in here is stuff that I feel like I really do need. And the bike goes in here, and that takes up the most room right now. The dogs are just waiting for their dinner. This is my new system for filling these 1-gallon jugs. I just swap them out like this. Now when I go fill up water, I go into town and they only charge $5 to get about 25 gallons of water. So I'm able to fill up my jugs, and I also fill these up too. But there usually are places you can get free water. Sometimes it's a little sketchier than other places. Here in Flagstaff, I go to an RV park, and they have really good water there. I mean, you know, it tastes really good, and I know it's safe and clean. But when I'm on the road, there's places I stop, like at gas stations, and I'll fill up there on water. And then what I do is on Google Maps, I mark the places where I've got water before. And so I can leave little notes for myself there on Google Maps, you know, if it was good water. I might leave a note, like there was one time when I got sick and I thought maybe it was the water. So I left a note on Google Maps for myself. You know, I didn't it wasn't a public note, but just so I know, like, yeah, I'm not gonna go get water there again. That's only happened like one time. Main thing is, like, if you go to get water at a place that has a dump, a lot of times there'll be places that have free dumps. Sometimes you have to pay for dump stations. You know, that's where you dump your gray water and your black water. But a lot of times they'll have a spigot there to get water too, and it'll say potable water. My kind of rule of thumb is if it's right next to the dump, then I don't use it for drinking water. I might use it to rinse out my tanks, and then the rinse water goes right back into the dump station. But for drinking water, stuff I want to drink, or even stuff that goes in the RV for like shower water, I might fill up there for basically shower water, you know, because I'm not going to be drinking it. But the truth is, I do use the water from the tank, like when I brush my teeth, so it does get in my mouth then, technically. Now, at some dump stations, they will have a separate area that says drinking water only, and then I will fill up on drinking water there at those places. So now I filled up 6 gallons here, and this is called a 6-gallon container. But my little trick is you can fill these up. There's still probably almost a gallon. You fit about 6.5 gallons in this one container. So the rest of this, I'll save in here for drinking water because I don't have a whole lot left, or I'll just put it in the trailer. Now, when it rains, having my bike out, it has been a problem in the past, but since I got this cover for the bike, it really has solved that problem. And you do have to tie it down or else the wind will blow it. But what I've noticed is the bike did fall over once in the wind, and so I got a little tear here. This is not the thickest cover, is kind of the thing, so I may need to get something more heavy duty. And then the straps down here that have buckles on them, you can see how it's just kind of barely attached still. It's barely attached because just the wind has been yanking on it. So at some point that's going to come loose, and I guess I could fix it, but I kind of think my best bet is going to be to get a more heavy duty cover for the bike. They do make covers that are made for driving with, you know, if you mount your bike on the back of your trailer or on your truck or something outside, then you drive with it. They make really heavy duty covers. So that might be what I'm due for. Now, having the awning out when it rains in a muddy area like this is really nice, but the wind was kind of making me hem and haw about putting the awning out today. So I do want to mention the awning does work, you guys. I got it fixed and it rolls up the correct way. You can see down here it's, you know, it's fairly dry, so that keeps my shoes from getting too muddy when I go inside the trailer, and gives a spot for the dogs to kind of chill out and keep their feet a little bit drier, at least before they go inside. Now you will notice I don't have a mat out here, which would really prevent like a lot of the mud and a lot of the dirt that gets drug in for me and the dogs. But the thing is, that's a whole other thing that I have to manage, you know, like a big patio mat. I have a couple that I carry with me, but I really rarely use them just because it's more stuff that I have to worry about. As it is just having like a chair out here, this thing, you know, gets full of water. Sometimes the wind will even blow it around. And for me, you know, I like things to be simple. Having 2 dogs, you know, is enough responsibility. Like I got the dog bed out, then I'll have their water out. I got this little table out, then I got this thing up here. So you can imagine, like, if the wind picks up, then it's like, oh, I gotta secure stuff. And one of the nicest things is when the wind does come up, or there's like a big storm and I'm inside the trailer, then I can think in my head, I'm like, okay, what do I have out there? And it's like, my rule is don't have anything out here that could get screwed up by the weather. Really anything at all. There's other things that can screw stuff up too, like bugs. You can get bugs and stuff. Or the worst thing would be like scorpions or spiders, because all this stuff ends up either back in the truck or inside the trailer. And once it's in the trailer, any bugs and stuff like that can get back in the trailer. So what I'm talking about right now is just saying, like, I like to keep things outside to a minimum. As it is now, you know, like, now that I've got the bike, that's a whole new thing. So it's a whole new thing for me to kind of manage outside. And then Dodger's wheelchair, which in the manual it says, oh yeah, you can get the wheelchair wet. Supposedly there's not much on it that can get rusty or anything. But there is like a little fabric harness that goes around his neck, so that does get wet, is one thing that I've noticed. The one mat that I do use, I always use this, is this rubber floor mat. It's made from like recycled tires. And I got that on Amazon. There's links down below to all the stuff that we use here. So you guys click on those links for us and you can find all this stuff that we use on Amazon, and that helps us out. If you click on those links, even if you don't buy it, if you just click on one of those links, that does help out the channel. It's so gloomy today. You can see how I have the awning at an angle. This might be something a lot of you know about. It's something that I had to learn, because when it gets really rainy out here, then the awning will fill up with water and the whole thing can collapse, or it can tear or whatever. It's really bad. And also the same with snow. So you want to have a pretty decent angle, and that way it drains off. And then you do end up with a puddle where it drains. So you kind of have to deal with that. Rainy days on the GotOutChannel. One good thing is, you know, the truck does get a little bit cleaner when it rains. Yeah, Echo is, you're kind of happy to be out, huh? Get. You want this stick? That's weird. You never play with sticks. You want this? Yes. Echo. Get. He's got a little pent-up energy. That's a good dog. Get.